Alright, hello guys. Yeah, I'm Hutchtee. Sorry for the squeakiness. That'll sound like part of the chipmunks. Yeah, this is going to be Uncharted 1. Matt, what am I doing? I'll count you in. So the start of this is pretty self-explanatory. There's no clips or glitches or anything at the start of the game really that's of any concern to the game. There's nothing you can really do with them. But yeah, anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. So at the start here, enemies are just really easy to kill. Nate's got some amazing long-range shooting skills with his pistol, thanks to auto-aim. The reason that I blow up the barrels at the start, I've had a bit of an issue with the auto-aim kicking in places where it shouldn't do, spoiling some of the clips in the game, so I just take them out. It sounds random, but for some reason if I blow up the barrels, I don't tend to have as many problems as I do if I leave them.
They're climbing aboard.
These poor guys, they don't really get the chance to climb the boat. End up with nice headaches as they climb. I'll have to apologise in advance. This game's a bit random for movement. It's movement tech, if you could even call it that. It's a bit, how can I say, spoilt by Naughty Dog's choice of how they've even done it in the first place. So that's really the only glitch that anyone might do on the boat, is clip the boat inside the door. It's just to avoid the gunfire outside, but you can avoid it anyway with ease. It's different, looks cool. You can even climb up onto a railing through the ceiling there. You can actually shuffle underwater, as Kat has just mentioned in the chat. All the water disappears, you end up underneath the boat. It's a bit strange, to be honest. It looks a bit strange. Also, in the airwalk category, you can airwalk over to this island, but it won't load in. There's no checkpoint trigger, and there's no loading trigger, so you can't actually load anything. You can just walk on thin air. So this game, movement consists of bunny hopping, wall clipping, and combat run speed. All extremely beneficial in their own ways. Clipping being the most beneficial. Bunny hopping, if you time it correctly, you can actually make the bunny hopping quicker as well and cancel some of the animation. So the first main thing that we're concerned with is getting up on top there to avoid all the climbing at the start here. If you roll into the tree trunk at the base, if Nate clips it slightly, you can immediately jump left and he'll grapple onto the ledge and you can avoid all the climbing. So here we want to jump. That gives us the nice boost to get closer to the cutscene. First major wall clip coming up now. Easy peasy. Spam your gun. Walk into the wall. Walk straight through it. Game broken. This wall clip can be a bit dangerous, so I have to be careful once I'm in the wall. So move forward a little bit because it's not working properly. Right, so you want to aim a little bit to the left. Otherwise what happens is Nate can launch forward and he can fall and hit the floor and come to a very untimely death. There's not really much going for this level. Sort of the first half, or the first half of this chapter, I mean. I do apologise if my explanation is not very good. I'm not generally a very good speaker, so I'll do my best to try and explain stuff. So here, beyond this wall, there's the scene usually where the bridge collapses, and that's not good. Never mind. Small loss. So there, the bridge collapses. Usually the camera would change and goes behind Nate, but with the camera staying behind Nate, when you clip that wall, you avoid that problem. So this next bit, if you roll at the base of the stairs, you can avoid some of the walking animation that's going on now. So the next clip, again you can die here, but thankfully the checkpoint's right there, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's click this, and if you jump you land into out of bounds. It's very easy to die there because there's a gap in between that wall and the floor below, and if it don't load in quick enough you fall straight through and yeah, die. So the next clip on the PlayStation 3 is notorious for crashes. On the PS4 however it's not so bad, simply because the PlayStation 4's hardware is more capable of loading this area in. You restart checkpoint once you've clicked them rocks and you're in the sub. You avoid probably about 5-6 minutes worth of climbing.
There's blood everywhere. And soup. What?
There's nothing special in regards to the sub. You can't clip back outside. It's just walking through very slowly, and that's about it. In fact, this part's quite boring. It would have been nice if you could clip back outside and avoid it, but you can't. So, thankfully it's not too long. You can get a small boost after this actually, once you skip the checkpoint, if it works. It works a tiny bit. Sometimes he'll start running towards that door when you skip the cutscene. But it just depends, because sometimes he runs in the opposite direction to where you're supposed to. Sometimes he don't even bother, sometimes he just walks. So this next bit coming up, if you was playing a normal playthrough, you would normally fight this guy. That was quite bad, but yeah, normally you would fight this guy and follow the tutorial, but we're just going to jump straight past him and ignore him. This clip's quite awkward. This one could go wrong. Hopefully it doesn't. There we go. That weren't too bad. That could have been a lot better. So basically we're just going straight back through the same point in which we jumped down where you could have died before. It's just a little bit awkward to do. Jumping, when you're jumping from height and you land and you shoot your gun, it cancels an animation, so we use that to save a little bit of time. We also shoot on stairs as well. When we're running upstairs, we shoot to cancel the slower animation there because it's faster. Sometimes if you see us roll on stairs or a slope, it's because sometimes you can get stuck. Here we restart the checkpoint because that last enemy has a checkpoint trigger. So if you skip that, it takes you forward. You can ignore these guys. Gonna leave the one guy for combat speed. So there's a glitch coming up. Basically at the end of this chapter, when we run into the next chapter, if we're shooting whilst we're doing or running into the next chapter, you can keep the combat speed from this point, and we really need that for a nice speed boost. You'll notice Nate's got his gun in his hand. That indicates that he's still in his combat speed. So a large portion of this game is clipping walls, and you can actually avoid a large number of fights doing that. That one that I just did can be a pain in the arse, but if done right, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. So clipping that wall stops all the enemies up here from spawning, so they basically don't get in the way. For some reason there, he gets a boost and he clips the wall slightly. And just climbs up onto the second ledge instead of climbing onto the first and then the second. So that's a small save. There we go, I got that one as well. So I found it, it's probably out there anyway, but I kind of found that as a little boost to the normal way. But basically there's two ways you can climb that wall. One is to stand in the corner where the branches were and position a jump carefully so that you can jump onto the rock and climb. Another way is, like I've just showed, you can roll into the rock to the side and he'll roll up the rock and then you can get onto it that way, which is actually a few seconds faster if you do it correctly. So I need to be careful at this point. As long as I get the checkpoint, I should be good. This is probably the biggest loss in the game if done wrong. Right, so I've just triggered the checkpoint, thankfully. So far so good. So there you can avoid landing on the rock below. Saves a little bit of time. Right, there's a small time save coming up here as well. If you jump there as the cutscene triggers, you can avoid watching the cutscene because there's a little checkpoint trigger. So the next glitch coming up is the barrel skip. So basically this one is a bit of a strange one. There's an explosive barrel up ahead. All we're going to do is we're going to cover against the barrel and then we're going to climb over it and it clips us through a wall. We can avoid that cutscene by restarting checkpoint. Right, I got there just in time. We have a thing called barrel RNG. Sometimes the enemy blow up the barrel far quicker than what you think. For some reason it actually doesn't do any damage to you, which is a bit strange. There is an alternative way if that goes wrong, which is a few seconds lost, but you can carry on going. You can actually jump over 2 boxes and do the same thing, just without cover. Well, actually, no, you do cover against them, but so here the reason why we clip the trees is because again you can cut straight over, so it saves a few seconds if you do it fast enough. So you'll notice up ahead there's a blank spot. Normally the chateau is there, or the castle. So this is chapter 5. It doesn't load in straight away. You'll notice it load in momentarily. There is a Vine launch here, but on the PlayStation 4 it's very unreliable. So I'm not going to perform it in this run. But if we've got time at the end, and if people would like to see it, it's quite hilarious to watch it on the PS4 version instead of the PS3. Because on the PS3 you know what to expect. Whereas on the PS4 it's like a slingshot. So here we clip this wall because most other sections of that wall have a trigger for enemies spawning here. So when we clip that wall there, for some reason they don't spawn. So, and we could do without that because of the gun, the mounted gun, because it can still kill you on Explorer.
Place could use a good plumber.
That's a bit annoying. Never mind. Could have got myself a small boost. This could be annoying if grenade RNG is concerned. Hopefully grenade RNG doesn't cause me problems. So the reason why we clip that gate and then clip back in is because if you don't, you can't do the this bit basically, because the triangle prompt doesn't come up. For some reason when you walk in and then walk back out again, and then use the chain, it allows. Oh no, so it's not these chains, it's the chain outside. You need to open the gate, you've got no choice basically. You can't get through any other way unless you're doing Airwalk, which is not in this category. So if I'm stuttering when I speak, I apologise because I'm a little bit nervous. This game always makes me nervous anyway, but it's my first time doing something like this, especially to a crowd this size. So again, clipping this wall, you have to be careful when clipping this. There's a gap in between both walls. So the reason why we shoot that guy up there is because he climbs onto the mounted gun up there. If you actually shoot him before he doesn't bother. So it gives you the opportunity to clip that wall, which can be a bit of a pain to get through. There's another way, which is the old way. Which is a bit safer. You have to be careful when clipping that gate because that gate, there's a chance you can get stuck. So you have to position yourself a little bit more carefully with that one. So this one is notorious for me for failing some of my runs. Hopefully I can pull it off. I've been doing quite well in practice. So this one, if you... As long as you position yourself correctly and perform the jump, you can avoid some of the climbing in this. Let's see how I get on. Right, that one failed, unfortunately. You have to time the jump correct. He has to be right on the edge, like that. So that's not too bad. You can also fail the jump here as well. For some reason, Nate sometimes jumps in the wrong direction. And he'll just fall to the floor. So we've got a bit of a cutscene here that we can't skip at the moment. This is in game, and then in a moment it will change to FMV. We can skip that, like so. And this guy, just shoot him. Nate gets knocked out by a grenade. And there's another cutscene here. When we skip that, it takes us on to the this bit, which is crap. I could literally sit there and not shoot anything for the entire sequence, because in Explorer they don't do enough damage and they don't shoot you frequently enough. But for the sake of showing off some aiming skills, I suppose, then I might as well do something rather than sit there and watch it. Sure, you guys wouldn't want to watch me or Elena driving a Jeep very badly with Nate holding onto a gun, straddling it. But yeah, this one, unless you do actually die in this one, the time should always be roughly the same for this section. I don't know about erotic, but I mean that's private. You'll notice as well, some of the Jeeps will randomly crash into walls. So in a moment we're going to get like a cutscene. We can actually restart the checkpoint at this point, or at that point, sorry, which will push us forward a little bit and let us carry on rather than watch it. Which is there. That was actually quite lucky because the grenade was quite low there. I didn't think it would blow it up. If you don't blow that up, you'll die no matter what. Catalyst. Are you trying to get me to date people on Twitch? Okay. So yeah, this chapter's about to end. There's a cutscene coming up. We skip that one, and when we're in the water, when the camera pans into Nate's view, then we can actually restart checkpoint and put Nate on land so that we don't have to swim. Another little so camera pans, restart checkpoint, and he's on land. And if we shoot early, we go into combat run speed. So here what we're going to do is we're going to avoid most of this part of the chapter, and we've clipped that wall. So we now run around this edge. You have to be very careful when running around that edge because it's so narrow, you can fall off. And we're onto the jet ski. So this bit's okay. Sometimes RNG can screw you over though. Just up ahead it can screw you over. So this is the point in which it can screw you over. Yeah, that's where it screws you over. Okay, that's bad RNG. I may die. Yeah, I died. Fortunately, that's a time loss. Never mind. I'll probably play it safe next and just blow them up early. You can usually get through that, and sometimes the barrels don't even damage you, even when you're close to them. But these ones you can generally avoid. They don't normally hit them. The sparks come off them, or at least the water next to it seems like they're very close to hitting, but nothing ever happens, so it's very rare they get to blow them up. So here we're going to shoot the floor before we press triangle, because for some reason this puts us into combat run speed, which is what we need to perform the next skip. So this one, what we do is we jump down, we go into photo mode, and then we zoom the camera through the door. Once you're in the door, for some reason all the area after it loads in, and then we can avoid the cutscene with Elena. And not only that, Nate actually survives. So this next bit's a bit scary, because this is... If you fail this, you soft lock the game. Right, it looks like he's gone into the wrong part of the wall there. There we go. I haven't, no. Because I forgot. But I'm safe, so that's fine. Right, so here, on the PS3 version, you would normally avoid the enemies here. But we're actually not going to. We're going to get involved in the fight. And then we're just going to run past, kill a couple of people, including the guy on the sentry gun, with some precision aiming from yours truly. And then we're just going to speed past like it was the easiest thing in the world. So even when we run out of bullets, we can still cancel the slow animation on the stairs and run up them quickly if we're shooting. So Well, there's multiple ways of doing that area map. I'm just merely stating. All of these enemies here need to die. If they don't, you can't move on to the next chapter. So this jet ski part is quite frustrating, only because handling the jet ski is really awkward. On both parts really, and you know, Naughty Dog like to throw barrels at you. And depending on Elena's RNG when you're just spamming the gun is dependent on whether or not you actually get hit by them. At the moment, RNG is a bit 50-50, it's a bit hit and miss. Literally hit and miss. So we need to be a bit careful. The enemy are pretty weak beforehand, but at the last section of this you can get some pretty nasty RNG because the enemy's aim seems to be immaculate in the last section of this part of the run. Unfortunately, Elena's a bit of a liability in this game. She tends to get in the way more than anything else. So I use this rock for protection until I get right round, because usually what happens is Elena will start shooting the guy on the first bit to the left. If you shoot him enough, it staggers him for a little bit and then RNG is a little bit better. But as you can see, I'm close to a black and white screen, so their damage seems to be quite excessive there, even on Explorer.
Thanks.
Alright? Okay. Let's head up to the monastery and see what's going on.
Wow. Never mind. That's not helping. Come on, Nate. Hit the gate. Don't usually have a problem there. For some reason, sometimes that can fail. You can actually clip the wall next to that. But I still prefer going through the gate even though that fails sometimes. Because you can kind of get stuck in the wall a little bit. So I always pick up this gun simply because it's extra bullets. So we clip here, we jump across, and we fail it. Never mind. I'm not sure how far this puts you back. Wow, it puts you all the way back here. Okay, that's quite a loss. I'll play it safe. Actually, no, I won't play it safe. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to pussy out. It's not helping when Nate's not going through the gate.
Just slow down.
The reason why is because I want to show off a a skip up ahead, because that should technically not fail, but for some reason it did.
Here we go.
There we go. That is what's supposed to happen. Not falling through the floor like that. So what we do here is we trigger the fight scene here to get combat speed. We avoid going up the stairs because the guys at the top can hit you and get in the way. So what we do here is we clip through the wall, and we photo mode and spin the camera around, which starts loading in the next area. The reason why we do that and the way we time that is because you can actually kill Elena. So the reason why I triggered the checkpoint there, which we wouldn't normally do in an any % no airwalk run, is because there is a strat that you can do which gives you combat speed, allowing you to skip this puzzle section, but we're not going to skip it on this occasion.
It's something to do with these symbols.
We're just going to do the puzzle. In terms of the load speed now for the PlayStation 4, doing this puzzle isn't actually too bad. Before you'd actually lose about 30 plus seconds because of bad load time.
Well, there's no way but forward.
Yeah. What is this place?
Didn't really mean to do that, but
Hide the damn treasure.
Which way do we go?
Wait a second.
so normally this gate wouldn't be here because it doesn't spawn if you do the other strat, which is it's quite a big skip, but if you do it the normal way by doing the puzzle, it's there in the way. So this one's a bit of a strange one. For some reason Nate can jump from an invisible object, and we can avoid pulling down the drawbridge, which is quite a long section. So this is all about aim and making sure you don't get blown up by grenades.
This just keeps getting better and better.
Oh wow, until then. Because I got one shot by grenade.
Keep coming.
Don't know if he's dead, but wow, he's not. Okay. Pick up the bullets, because I need them. He's still alive? Wow. Okay, that was pretty bad. Oh, hopefully RNG don't kill me here. That was close. That was very close as well. So yeah, this game, unfortunately, you can get sniped pretty badly by the enemies, even on Explorer. There's certain areas where they do far more damage than what they should be doing. I'm aware that a grenade launcher would probably kill you instantly anyway, but it's just one of those things. So we're going to do a little mini skip up here, because when you've picked up Elena and she's climbing the ladder, you can move a little bit. I only really actually knew about this yesterday or the day before. When the camera pans back, looking back down at Nate, you can walk off down into the hole, get him killed, and then you can skip a cutscene and it's a few seconds faster.
There's a rope. I'll try to lower it down to you.
Down there.
What the hell is going on down there?
Just get that rope down here! Fast!
Damn! It's totally rusty. It won't move.
Elena!
Come on, Nate. I got it! It's moving! Grab the rope! Come on, Nate!
So this bit on the PS3 used to actually crash the game, or potentially crash the game for some reason. I suppose if it was done too quickly, but on the PS4 should be no problem, as long as you don't run back towards the enemy like I have done in the past due to dodgy controls.
Not good, not good, not good!
Nate also moves a little bit quicker whilst holding the fire down. So this one skips pretty much, what, 2 chapters I think. Basically you clip this grate in, and if you aim correctly, jump towards the ladder, you skip a massive part of the game. Another little strat here, when Nate goes to use the radio, once you've started moving, you can skip the slow walking animation by just restarting the checkpoint. He'll stop talking to Sully. It's good I've got bullets here as well, because I can get combat speed up ahead much sooner. So we clip the door to the cathedral here, we skip all of the fight scene outside. And then up ahead there's, if you do this area correctly, or the normal way, in a normal playthrough, the altar here, say it in proper English, would normally move back, but what we're going to do is we're going to clip the altar, move slowly into it, and not do it like I just showed it. And then we should theoretically fall through and skip that.
Tell me what the hell's going on? Drake
I'm going to clip the wall here and drop down into the lower areas so I don't have to move around them.
What? It's cursed or something.
That skips
Look, I know it's
a little bit.
You just gotta trust me.
So this bit can be a bit annoying. In my practice runs yesterday, I got stuck in one of these. And then I got punched numerous times, which resulted in my death, which could have resulted in a PB as well, unfortunately. But there we go. So we're right at the end of the game, so you get ready on time. We're going to avoid most of this fight and skip right to the end. And on Explorer we can actually skip a large part of the fight at the end as well. So we click through the boxes, we avoid most of that. So here we can literally jump over the box, and if you do it quickly enough, you can actually do the quick time event at the end. Get ready on time. Time. And that was Uncharted 1, basically. If anyone watching, obviously, speedruns, which you probably do, if you ever want to pick this game up, feel free to. It's picked up again recently. It's still quite a competitive game, so the more the merrier, really. Friendly community. Everyone's willing to help out one way or another, including myself. Always drop into one of my streams or drop me a message anytime. I'm more than happy to help out. And yeah, thank you for watching.